CAS 2.0. We've shifted from CAS 1.0, I suppose, cloud-based accounting solutions, into what CPA.com is calling the future of client advisory services. We're going to dive into what I think they got right and where I think they could improve. Let's dive in. All right, welcome to another episode of CAS Minute. Today we're discussing CPA.com's CAS 2.0 framework, a structured approach for evolving CAS practices. Overall, I think it's a fairly strong foundation for firms aiming to scale their CAS services. This is definitely geared towards the larger firm that is starting to adopt a new CAS service. I think there's one critical omission from this: the emphasis on data, both internal and external, as a transformative asset for the firm. Why does it matter? Well, we live in a world driven by technology, analytics, and data is not just a supporting element of that. It's actually the linchpin for delivering higher value insights and services. So let's figure out where they can improve on this messaging, where I think it could really dial things up for CAS practices. So what I think they get right: they provide a pretty good roadmap for CAS evolution, moving from this cloud environment 1.0 to 2.0, where there's more of an emphasis on strategy, practice development, utilization of technology, and then operational excellence. Those are the four pillars that they talk about when building a scalable CAS practice. And they really focus more on client value and differentiation, which they've received a tremendous amount of data points from their CAS benchmark survey. They've got a lot of information pointing to value-driven services. And this is nothing new. It's not novel. People have been trying to look for value-added services for a long time. And so to look at it through that lens is a little bit dated in my mind, but at the end of the day, it's not wrong. What I like to see is more practical guidance, like staffing strategies, pricing models, client management, things that help firms operationalize CAS a bit more effectively. And where I think they really miss the mark is on the utilization of data. There is no clear definition within these four pillars of strategy, practice development, tech, and operational excellence that mention data. Many firms don't recognize the value of their internal data. Yes, the document does talk about KPIs and having to measure that and creating operational excellence, but they don't talk about the value that it drives to the practice, whether it's metrics on client retention, service profitability, team performance, how and where you can gather that data to drive a more efficient practice. Because ultimately, this is going to be what makes or breaks the firm and enables it to scale. When you think about data as a service, when you think about where our industry is going, I have a firm belief that most of what's happening today, particularly the transactional layer of work for CAS practices, will be systematized. It will be AI driven. I don't think many people are fighting that point, but at the end of the day, what does that mean? It means you have to have team members that are upskilling themselves to understand connectivity between data, connectivity between systems. Understanding how these things work is going to be critical to the base layer of providing quality client service. So I believe that external data or data from your clients will be a foundational element for CAS practices going forward. You can also take that data-driven approach for automation and scalability and tech advisory within your CAS practice. So how do you close the gap? How do you start to think about developing a strategy that can help you move into what I believe to be this next era of CAS? And maybe it's 2.0, maybe it's 3.0. I'm not exactly sure the nomenclature behind it, but you have to have a strategy. You have to develop a strategy that, to their point, drives value. So you have to have a strategy for collecting, ingesting, cleansing, analyzing, and utilizing both this internal and external data to drive value. Yes, that may output in a dashboard of something that you're familiar with seeing. However, the intent is that you can cut this data in numerous ways, and it's not just a stagnant KPI that helps you understand how you performed last month. So we really want to take this data to tell stories for the firm, for your clients, and then align some of this information that we're gathering to help our clients deepen the relevance of what we do to their work. Final thoughts. I think it's a good starting point. Yes, there are a lot of things to move a CAS practice from good to exceptional or from non-existent to existent. But I think that we really need to do a deeper dive and work with our partners to embrace these data-driven approaches and strategies, both internally and externally, to be successful in the future. We can no longer look at things through the lens of debits and credits. Yes, that will continue to be a foundational knowledge that's required to serve clients well, but ultimately to thrive in a future competitive environment and to some degree future-proof your practice, I believe that data is going to be the number one element that will drive that success. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. You could text the link in the show notes. Let me know what you think. We can discuss more of this. I believe that creating a data strategy is one of the best things that you can do for your practice today. I hope that's helpful. Till next time.